Hi crafty friends, this is Jarle. I have a fun reveal wheel card to share with you today. I used the new Really Great Day stamp set from Lawn Fawn to create this card. You can find a full supply list in the description box below. Now let me show you how this card came together. I started by die cutting a reveal wheel panel out of Bristol Smooth cardstock. I also used the Reveal Wheel Really Great Day add-on for this. Then I had a piece of patterned paper lying around, so I die cut a second panel out of that paper. You can use any paper you like for this. It will not be seen on the final card. I already have a big and a small wheel ready and that frame of the Ferris wheel cabin as well. For the wheel, I did use Transfer-Type Perfect coloring paper, so I could do some coloring later on. I decided to do a little bit of ink blending with regular distress inks on this card. I used tumbled glass, spun sugar, shaded lilac and peacock feathers. I just dropped in different colors on different places on my card and I blended them together with my blender brushes. So I started with the spun sugar and I went in with the shaded lilac after that. Then I added my blues and I blended these as well. I didn't have an exact plan here at this point. I just made sure to overlap the colors a little bit and I went back and forth between the different colors the whole time. When you see it like this, it doesn't look like much, to be honest, but I kind of hoped it would work out when I added the Ferris wheel later on. Now for a little added interest, I placed one of the Falling Hearts stencil on top and I went over it with white pigment ink. I did dab or push the ink on here, so I didn't use a circular motion like I would normally do. I just pounced the ink onto the panel. I hope this makes sense. It just gives that little extra something to the cards. And it's all in the little details, right? So I stamped my images off camera, but I did want to show you how I use this Really Great Day template. I chose the template with 4 openings so I could stamp 4 critters inside. I taped the template to my wheel using the Spellbinder's Best Ever Craft Tape. Then I stamped my 4 cute critters inside those openings with Lawn Fawn Jet Black ink. This template makes it super easy. No measuring, no thinking, just stamp and rotate, stamp and rotate. I colored all my images from the Really Great Day and the Coaster Critters flip-flop stamp sets. I will write down all Copic Combinations in the description box below. Now to assemble the wheel on my card. I took a little brad and I pushed that through the hole in that small wheel. Then I push it through the hole of the bigger wheel and I close the brad. So the small wheel is kind of pushed against the back of that bigger wheel. Then I put 3 small foam squares on the small wheel, but you do have to make sure not to touch the brad when you do this. Now here, after I remove the backing paper of the foam squares, I'm lining up my wheel with the front panel of the card. So I'm making sure that the critter is positioned just right, and then I can line it up with the back panel, just like you see here. So the wheel is adhered to the back panel with those 3 little foam squares. I'm gluing the reveal wheel frame onto the front panel. And I also take that extra little cabin and I adhere it in the right position. Since I had my glue out, I am gluing this little frog onto his booth. Since I'm using the Ferris wheel with the reveal wheel, I have to trim off the top of that top cabin. I'm a little bit out of camera here, but you can see that I just removed the top of the cabin there. Then I realized I made a mistake by gluing on that frame already. So I gently pulled that cabin off the panel so I could put my Ferris wheel behind it later. First, I will have to create a bit of a border, so I die cut some cilantro cardstock with the reveal wheel die again and 2 of the stitched hillside borders. This made sure that I would have that nice stitching detail all around the borders. Now I did want to add a little bit of inking on the edges of both borders, so I used Mowed Lawn Distress ink for this. That way the borders blended in nicely with the rest of the ink blended cards. So I adhered the borders onto my front panel when the inking was done. Then I put liquid glue on the Ferris wheel and I tucked it behind the little cabin. Before adhering the rest of the images, I wanted to assemble the rest of my reveal wheel. For that, I put foam squares all the way around that reveal wheel there. I removed the liner paper and aligned my front panel with the back panel, just like you see me doing here. And here you can see the reveal wheel is working just great. I could play with this all day long. Time to finish the scene now, so I adhered all my images onto the scene. For some I used foam squares and then for others I just used my liquid glue. This adds a lot of dimension to the card, so the critters that were farther away were glued down flat, and then the ones that were more in front were put down with foam squares. Before adhering the scene onto a card base, I trimmed down a piece of patterned paper out of the stripes and sprinkles paper pads. I trimmed it to 4¼ by 5½ inches. I again used foam tape for this. You could use regular tape as well, but I find the mechanism works better when you mount it with the foam tape just a little bit more. I also glued down a little arrow here so the recipient of this card knows exactly what to do. Then for my sentiment I chose Moonstone cardstock and I stamped down the sentiment "Have a really great day" in Lawn Fawn jet black ink. I had to do this twice, as you can see, just because I messed up the first time. I cut down my sentiment with a sentiment banner and I adhered it onto my card base with some foam squares as well. And this finishes off the card for today. I really like all the colors on this card. The pastel-y background, the colors on the Ferris wheel, and then those cute little critters. They are just super adorable. I hope I gave you a little bit of inspiration today. I will see you again soon and have a really great day. Bye!